Hello and welcome to News 360. We are live from the News Hub here in Kanda. I am Isa Moni.
And my name is Nanekia Mensah Brampa. Coming up in the bulletin tonight.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by Deluxe Paint, Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Spray,
Calipo, and Nido Fortigro. Your love, their future.
Right, so in the headlines, students across training colleges begin packing home after government announced a shutdown owing to strike by teachers.
Residents of Oku in the Central District of the Ashanti region vowed to boycott all political activities in the run-up to the 2020 elections if their roads are not fixed. Also, shortage of premix fuel hits Agodeke in the Kwewu Afram Plains North District of the Eastern region. And as Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark World AIDS Day, we tell you about strategies some men have adopted in purchasing condoms. And later on the foreign front, riots, pleas and protesters clash in central Paris during a third weekend of Yellow Vest rally sparked by rising fuel prices. And in sports, Nigeria wins a record night African Women's Cup after pipping South Africa in penalty shootouts. All the details available, and we bring you the stories as we turn to the stories for tonight on News 360. Stay with us right now. Fishing at Agodeke in the Kwewu Afram Plains North District of the Eastern region came to a standstill following shortage of premix fuel. Now, Stanley Niblew reports fishermen queued for days without being served.
The Agokeji Premix Fuel Station is one of 3 stations in the 2 Kwewu Afram Plains districts. Fishermen have come from more than 20 island communities in search for the commodity. An earlier supply by Shell Petroleum has also drawn scores of fishermen from Kwando Toko, Germany and Tapabotuasi to Agokeji. Some have already spent 2 nights at the fuel station and have not been served. They have not been to fishing for weeks, and so their frustration is gradually building up.
Premix fuel is high in demand here in Agokeji. On a normal fishing day like today, these canoes are supposed to be at work, but their owners have abandoned them, queuing for premix fuel.
The high demand for the commodity is believed to have been mostly caused by artificial means. The fishermen asserted the suppliers connived with the middlemen called Magbo to hoard the fuel and later sell to them at exorbitant prices. This, they say, has been the practice for years. A gallon of premix fuel, for instance, sells at 7 cedis 50 pesos by the suppliers, but the middlemen buy and sell to the fishermen at 15 cedis per gallon, a 100% increment.
We cannot go hungry with our families, so we rely on the expensive fuel. In instances where we don't have money, we buy petrol and mix with other fuel before we are able to go for fishing.
There are some people in our communities which, if the petrol come, they are not fishermen, but they bought it and put it in their rooms and sell with double prices. Mostly those people, some of them are farmers and seamstress in the market.
28-year-old Buti Benjamin is worried the scarcity of the commodity is impacting negatively on their fishing activities.
The truck that you need to go and take in 3 days or 4 days, you use 1 week because of not having a petrol. And the price is far, you can't pardon and go there. So you need to get some of the oil before going. So the net will keep long and the fish will spoil. And then you lost your money.
But the zonal operations officer for the 2 Afram Plains districts debunked the claims by the fishermen and rather attributed the scarcity of the commodity to low supply by the Tama Oil Refinery.
They promised to provide the premix for every week, 2 tankers for every district. They start up, but up to some time, there's a lot of challenges in the tour or the secretariat. That means it will take about 3 weeks or 1 month before we receive everything. It's not coming frequently as they promise. So that's
At Dambai in the Karachi East District, the situation is no different. Here, canoes working as water taxis do not regularly work because supply of fuel is also not regular. Petrol remains an alternative, but not all canoe owners can afford.
The
shortage of the premix fuel really affects us. We travel long distance to go and buy the fuel. When we are not lucky, we come back with empty gallons.
Traders have not been able to transport their goods across the Volta River, and it is impacting on their business.
And from the eastern region, let's turn our attentions to the Ashanti region, where residents of Oko in the Sechere Central District of that region are threatening to boycott all political activities in the run-up to the 2020 elections if their roads are not fixed. Now, the predominantly farming settlement has no access road and relies on the Catholic Church partially for essential social amenities. Peter Kwao Adato has more.
This is just one of the many incidents in and around Oku, a major farming community in the Ashanti region. The deplorable state of the road linking the area to Ejura has limited the means of transporting foodstuff to market centers to the use of tractors. Many trek owing to the poor state of roads or at best use motorbikes. It was a Tuesday afternoon. TV3's Peter Adato was about leaving the community after a 2-day study tour. He hopped onto a motorbike upon sighting these two tractors returning with sackloads of grains. The intention was to get to the River Oku to observe the maneuvers in the dangerous stream, but that was not to be. A sudden loud sound changed the narrative. The metal joining the trailer of one of the tractors broke in an attempt to maneuver the badly damaged portion of the road right here in the middle of Oku, throwing off both the cargo and the loading boys on it. And residents who rushed to the scene would rather engage in heated argument instead of helping to salvage the goods. Others were outraged with anger over the abject neglect of the road.
As if we are not part of Ghana, it is only election period that will become relevant. This time, we will not entertain campaign from any politician if our roads and other needs are not addressed.
The victims have to ignore the pains and resume carrying the sacks of grain to safety. The tractor operator, who declined to speak on camera, blamed their predicament on the state of the road. He lost track of the number of craters and streams they had to cross on each journey, but insisted they are unable to abandon the people of Oku, saying that would mean doom for them. On our journey back to Ejura, we encountered yet another scenario. This other tractor had a flat tire and had to rely on a hand pump in a bid to get it inflated after mending it. Residents want urgent attention to save them from preventable deaths and economic losses.
Now, students in public colleges of education are disappointed in the government for failing to reach an agreement for their striking teachers to return to the classroom. The students have started packing home as Minister of Education has announced closure of the colleges. Here's Benjamin Edu's report.
Tutors at the various colleges of education have been on strike since the beginning of November, demanding payment of their market premium as well as book and research allowances. Several meetings between the Colleges of Education Teachers Association (CTAG) and the government have ended in a stalemate. After more than 21 days of no academic activities, the National College for Tertiary Education, in consultation with the Ministry of Education on Friday, directed all 46 colleges of education be shut. When our news team visited the St. Louis College of Education and the Wesley College of Education in Kumasi, the halls of residents in the two colleges had been locked up. Students were already packing home as taxi drivers and head porters cashed in on the situation. The students were disappointed with the government's failure to resolve the impasse.
It's not good, according to me. Read a level 200. It's not good. Even the teachers has given us some books to read it, but when you read it, you can't even understand it unless someone guides you to do it.
Very, very unpleasing, especially for read a level 100s. We've not learned anything. For us, our tutors haven't given us any pamphlets, any books, nothing. So we just even don't know what we are going to do.
Jonas Yeboah, 1100 students of the St. Ambrose College of Education in the Brongahaf region, had visited the St. Louis College for an inter-halls debate. He described the current situation as sad. Since the upgrade of the colleges of education in 2016, tutors have been demanding improved conditions of service similar to that of their colleagues at the universities.
To one of our developing stories, 1 month after the Ministry of Transport tasked the governing board of the Ghana Maritime Authority to investigate allegations of financial misappropriation against the Director General of the authority, the board is yet to submit its report. An instruction to the board on October 29 failed to give them terms of reference and timelines within which the board must submit its report.
Fiercely dismissing all allegations made against him in a leaked document from his own office.
The board has approved that provided management see that the cost of acquiring food services from that institution is value for money, they are allowed to do that.
The leaks, coupled with a response from the Maritime Authority board, sparked outrage from the public.
They are out there talking rubbish.
One by one, the Director General of the Maritime Authority shut down what he described as wicked lies against his person.
We will not yield to people who want to extort. I will not yield.
The Transport Ministry, obviously worried about the public uproar, quickly issued a statement for the board to investigate its Director General without a timeline and terms of reference. The same board that gave approval for the issues he is alleged to have been indulged in. Mind-boggling also was the press conference the Director General organized to dispel the allegations, a presser that had the board chairman in attendance. A month on, it isn't clear when the report will be presented to the minister and made available to the public. The transport minister recently at a public event will not answer questions on the investigations, but hinted the report will definitely be presented by the board. Sources within the board say investigations are still ongoing.
Yes, and Chinin Kasana Hose order. But once in a while, order, you have to roll your sleeves and tell people order.
And now, Head of Security at the University of Cape Coast, ASP Johnson Owusu-Agyeman, is assuring the university community to stay calm before, during and after exams, as his office is collaborating with other stakeholders to beef up security. Crime rate at the UCC campus and surrounding communities usually shoots up during examination weeks. Here's a report by Spencer Kwabna-Boatin-Mensah.
After TV3 reported about the insecurity in the area in April-May this year, the Central Regional Police Command scooped on several suspected criminals during the second semester examination. But the crime rate on campus is still high. The police say petty stealings are amongst some of the most perpetuated crimes on campus. The head of security at the University of Cape Coast, ACP retired Johnson Owusu-Agyeman, is however assuring the situation will be controlled this semester as exams begin.
Of late, most taxi drivers were taking advantage of wrong students. So the university management decided that taxis operating on campus should have UCC embossed stickers. You see, we have the complement of the police, and they have a petrol car. Now they have been supplied with additional vehicle.
The security personnel student ratio on campus currently stands at 1 to 600 students, which makes security checks practically challenging. To make matters worse, there is inadequate logistics to work with. Irrespective of these, after holding a campus security meeting, ACP retired Johnson is optimistic the university community shall be made conducive for exams.
My men, they don't sleep. That is, we can't say that we don't have sufficient men, and for that matter, we will not work. We are working assiduously, yes, so that at the end of the day, students can learn about the exams.
He indicated that the Central Regional Police Command would put personnel on the ground for night patrols, an activity he says is already underway. Already, tight security arrangements have been put in place to check vehicles that ply the university to ensure the safety of the university community. Also, he said the campus security meeting concluded that the SRC and the Graduate Student Association of Ghana, UCC branch, arranged buses to transport students who study on campus to their hostels from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. daily. In addition, traditional leaders of communities like Amamoma, Apeusika, Akotechere, and Kwapro have recruited natives to form community watchdog committees to assist the professionals. An approach, amongst other things, is to deter residents in these communities from engaging in the crime.
2:30 Saturday dawn at Amamoma near the University of Cape Coast in the Central Region. Total blackout in the community. This is a time that thieves and armed robbers ply their unlawful activities. But these young men, about 60 of them, have formed a security team that is ensuring that students from the University of Cape Coast are safe.
I went for crossover and I came late. So they are making an arrangement for me to get to my hostel. No, I can't go alone because there are theft cases there and it's lights out too, so it isn't safe to go alone.
Whereas some students appear to have trust in the security arrangements, others are, however, of the view that this is a 9-day wonder. Spencer Kobnabwati Mensah, TV3 News, Cape Coast.
Alright, so you're still watching News 360. Remember, we're streaming live on DSTV channel 279. And this particular topic is quite interesting. I don't know why some men fear entering the pharmacy to buy condoms. Do you have answers? Or you want us to take the story before you give me answers?
Not a readily made one, so after the story.
Okay, so every man dreads contracting sexually transmitted infections, especially HIV, yet many are shy to walk into shops to buy condoms, one of the safest means to stay protected. Well, on World AIDS Day, Beatrice Fiogabra attempts to understand the frustration men go through to buy condoms.
The APC principle has over the years featured prominently in HIV prevention campaigns by the Ghana AIDS Commission. The principle highlights abstinence from sex, being faithful to a partner, and condom use. There is widespread apprehension in buying condoms ostensibly because sex is usually not spoken about in most cultures in Ghana. For those who are not bold to buy from pharmacy shops, they send children with a product name written for purchase. Others hang around pharmacy shops until the counter is empty before sneaking in to buy. Even for the bold ones, they prefer a more convenient and easily accessible means of patronizing condoms. Kwabena Minka is a taxi driver who appreciates the use of condoms, but he is shy to buy one when in need. He tells us when he gathers the courage to visit a pharmacy shop, he speaks undertone to avoid the prying ears of other patrons in the shop.
Sometimes I feel shy to tell the pharmacist I want to buy a condom, so I usually whisper.
The moment to be to 1 hour, but on any panel, say, Bibina de Quacoye, Diana Ferrica. These are the old one went to condom.
Oh, say a Yariaba, a man so bohoka. Him I say a buana Yarena Suti.
I don't feel shy at all because of the prevalence of sexually transmitted infections. It's best to protect ourselves by using a condom.
Kenneth Konedu is a pharmacist who admits some men shy away from buying condoms.
I would say condoms should be readily available, even at the bus terminals. Before you want to pick a bus, embark or even disembark, there should be a provision whereby you can easily reach out for a condom.
Ashanti region is leading in HIV with a 3.2 prevalence rate. Currently, there are calls for the Ghana AIDS Commission and other stakeholders to devise a more purchase-friendly approach in the sale of condoms. Technical coordinator at the Commission, Olivia Graham, attributed the problem partly to cultural inhibitions.
For some people, and especially the youth, they find it very difficult going to these places to buy condoms because they feel people will tag them as being bad or something. So they don't like going to the pharmacy shops to buy condoms.
The Commission has, however, piloted a condom vending machine, which should be rolled out nationwide. But until the vending machine's service is successfully rolled out and condoms sold at more untraditional outlets, do not be shy to buy your condom to help in HIV prevention.
Isa, and I realize the condoms have interesting names, but let me rephrase my question. What strategy would you use to buy a condom in a pharmacy?
Well, I think a condom is not for fetching water, is it? I mean, once you are ready to buy a condom, then it means you are old and matured enough to buy one. And the sellers have displayed it openly. And so they will be happy if they have 4 or 5 men buying condoms. So we shouldn't be shy. So if you're a man and you want to buy a condom, I think you should be bold enough to say you want to buy. Right?
Don't talk undertone. Isa, when it gets to the pharmacy, anyway, let's go on.
Well, I tell them I want to buy a condom.
Boldly.
Of course, they have displayed it. It's for sale, isn't it?
Okay. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. You're watching News 360. Now let's move on to other stories. Young girls have been advised to shun discrimination and stigmatization against persons living with HIV/AIDS as Ghana joins the rest of the world to commemorate World AIDS Day. The stakeholders strongly believe will reduce the burden on patients and make them live longer.
Report on HIV prevalence indicates that as many as 160,000 women and girls in Ghana are living with the virus. Young women aged 15 to 24 accounted for 25% of new HIV infections among adults and are at high risk of infection, despite accounting for just 11% of the adult population. At the Wildaf and Canadian Crossroads International Girls Empowerment Program, young girls were educated on how to accommodate people living with HIV/AIDS.
You should have them as your friend because touching, hugging, and being friends with such people will not let you get the disease, but they need more love. So girls out there, show them love.
Since its inception, the program has provided a safe space for its members to have the guidance of mentors, role models, friends and counselors to help combat the challenges of daily life. Communications coordinator Syria Nalo advised young girls to stand for their rights and be agents of change in society. There was fundraising art exhibition which showcased the creativity of the young girls, after which they solicited for support for future engagement. The program also marks 16 days of activism against gender-based violence.
You're watching News 360. We'll return shortly with some more stories.
Thanks for staying with us. This is NEWS360. Time now for Mission. And Mission is supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida, UK Aid and the European Union. Now, a nuclear family of 7 in a community in the Shai Osudoku district is gradually going into extinction due to the contraction of human immunodeficiency virus, which is HIV. Now, constant stigma is another situation the surviving families or family members are striving to deal with.
Persons living with HIV and AIDS are often stigmatized and rejected by families. This treatment has subjected most persons living with the syndrome to become socially maladjusted. That is the case of a family of 7 residing in a community in the Shai Osudoku district. I embarked on a 2-hour journey covering about 35 kilometers to visit this family. They reside in the remotest area of the districts because they could not bear the constant stigma meted out to them. Unfortunately, 4 of the family members, their father and 3 children, could not contain the disease, and so they died. 9 years after their death, the surviving members have had to deal with stigma. This has taken a serious toll on their lives. The 2 siblings, Araba and Jennifer, for instance, have been able to stand the storm after they were introduced to antiretroviral medicine by an orphanage that adopted them after the demise of the 4 family members. The 2, who have lived with the virus for more than 10 years, are the only hope of their ailing mother. They are fortunate to be enrolled in a public basic school, but the stigma meted out to them by their colleagues leaves more to be desired.
Some people hate me in our class and some don't hate me. So if I'm going to play with those who hate me, I'm not allowed to play with them because of some sickness is with me. That's why they don't like me to get closer to them. If I report them to the teachers, I don't know what the teachers will do to them. And I said to them that whatever they are doing to me, God who created us to the earth, so God will fight for me.
The 2 have resolved not to stop school in spite of the challenges they face because they have vision. Her resolve to get education is motivated by a dream she had.
I had a dream from my father, and he told me that I should not stop the school. I should go ahead and finish my secondary school. As my sister finished her secondary school, I should do it, but I should not follow my brother, so that I should come and be a bad person in future. So I should follow the good thing.
Founder of the orphanage, Benis Mausi Boss, is their source of inspiration.
I also give them the word of God to let them know that what God wants them to become, that's the only thing they will become, no matter the condition or the situation they find themselves in.
Their mother, Augustina Wuntumi, as I prefer to call her, could not tell how she contracted the disease. Her family and society have rejected her. She is starving because she has no job. She was once a trader but lost all her capital after the community stigma for her and her children intensified as no one was ready to buy from her.
I have become the subject of discussion in the community because of my condition. My heart bleeds whenever people stigmatize me. I wish I could take my life so everything will end.
She can neither afford health care. HIV/AIDS, although not curable, can be managed through the use of antiretroviral medicine.
And the surge in poverty at Kwe, a community in the Wutu Senya district of the Central Region, has compelled some parents to engage their children in gari making business. Other children's woes are compounded by the non-existence of a school in the community.
It's a sunny afternoon in the community of Kwe,
Some residents are enjoying the afternoon breeze after an early morning's field work. Few women are, however, home processing gari. Most residents' livelihood is dependent on gari processing. This is usually done after farmers do not find buyers for their cassava. The Kwai community is located about 10 kilometers from Odotom and has no educational facility. Only the strong are able to defy their problems to trek to school in nearby communities. For this family, their survival is solely dependent on the gari business. Fatih Mahmoud, a kindergarten 2 pupil, is the 5th of 6 children. She is 6 years old, but her mother has already introduced her to gari processing, and so she does not regularly go to school. Fatih has quickly grasped the gari making process, and so she has become acquainted with the smoke. Nothing will deter her from abandoning what she knows how to do best, as this is what sustains them. As young as she is, her dream for education is virtually fading as she receives no encouragement from parents. Her mother rather claims attempts to persuade her to go back to school has failed.
I always encourage my children to go to school, but I request them to help me after school. I cannot deny them education.
She said prices of commodities has dropped, so getting enough money to meet the educational needs of her children has been difficult. Healthcare is not sought for after the daily encounter with heavy smoke. The future of little Fatih hangs in the balance, with her future education plans unclear.
Alright, so that will do for Mission tonight. Mission is brought to you or supported by Star Ghana with funding from Danida UK Aid and the European Union.
In more news tonight, clients, customers and partners of Media General have been promised value for money in their business with the company in 2019. Managers of the media mogul say innovation and good customer service will be deepened to ensure business growth. Now, this was revealed at a screening ceremony of the 2019 programs held in Accra.
After being taken over by a Ghanaian company, Media General Ghana Limited in 2011, TV3 and its sister stations have stood out as the preferred media outlets in the country. This is evident in the recent Geopol media ratings, where TV3 came tops as the most watched station in 2018, with Connect FM emerging as the radio station with a wide listenership in the Western region. With these feats achieved, Media General gathered customers and corporate Ghana at a screening ceremony to present to them its compelling content and packages for 2019. The night also afforded the opportunity for Media General to celebrate the long-lasting relationship with its customers and to create new ones.
We acknowledge the fact that we need one another to grow our respective businesses. We also acknowledge the reality that the dynamics of media consumption all over the world is changing at a very fast rate. And so we are leveraging on new media more than ever before in our bouquet of products for the year 2019. We know that we will succeed and we can help our clients to succeed only if we are able to innovate and adapt to changing circumstances.
General Manager for Commercial and Marketing at Media General, Daniel Amate, assured clients of value for money in their investment.
It's been a very long-term relationship we've had, and we want to let them have more value for what they've already been spending with us.
Media General is also reintroducing some of its reality shows like Mentor, Music, and Home Sweet Home.
We are trying to be very innovative, and so for all these programs that we are bringing up, we are going to do activations to tie them into so that our customers and our partners enjoy from the partnership.
Some clients of Media General were full of praise for Media General for upholding professionalism in their business dealings.
We've been working with TV3 for the past 8 years. It's been an interesting journey. When we work with them, we're able to reach our target and then we're able to get visibility for our brands.
We believe we share a lot of values in common. Quality, good customer service, good delivery. These are values and qualities that we believe the GTV brand holds, and TV3 exhibits such qualities.
I'm playing with TV3 only this year, 2018. What I'm really experiencing with you is that you excite and delight your customer throughout uncompromising quality of services. This is really amazing, really professional.
Some also encourage Media General to continue being innovative.
2019, I expect that TV3 is going to keep on supporting me with a company that delivers the #1 coldest snack, Fan Yogo, and we're sure we have a lot of nice things for our consumers in 2019. So we know that through TV3 we're going to reach out to our consumers and bring them all the excitement of Fan Yogo.
Looking at your program for the rest of 2019, we've just realized that we did a good partnering with you. So that is basically why we want to partner with TV3.
Looking at the viewership, TV3 has the highest viewership per the Geopool report. So we think we have to work with the best media house in Ghana, and that's why we are doing business with TV3.
2019 obviously promises to be a good year for Media General and her business partners.
And it's definitely going to be a better year for Media Channel. Let's move to the presidency now, as President Akufo-Addo has inaugurated a new board of the National Development Planning Commission. The president tasked the board to prioritize the development of a planning policy that will transcend political regimes elected to exercise executive authority in the country at any given time.
The new board members took the official oath and the oath of secrecy at the swearing-in ceremony at the Jubilee House in Accra. The purpose of the National Development Planning Commission is to advise the President on development, planning, policy and strategy. President Akufo-Addo told the new 43-member board to put aside their political ideologies and differences and to go about their work.
If indeed the work you're to do, which is to advise the President on the planning, development of our country, is to be successful, it means that you have to take into account this possibility that different parties with different manifestos, different understandings, different commitments will occupy the executive authority of the state at one stage or another.
President Akufo-Addo tasked the board to exhibit maximum integrity. Planning chairman of the National Development Planning Commission Board, Professor Stephen Adai, said the board will seek to develop and effectively communicate a clear development agenda for the transformation of the country.
I believe that if we have a clear national path agenda, still there will be room. If we have a national long-term perspective plans, there should still be room for individual manifestos. But that will be to tell us what Ghana has agreed to go, how each of the parties will do it better, faster, and more efficiently.
The National Development Planning Commission NDPC board is made up of 12 ministers of state, including the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, the Education Minister Matthew Poku-Prempeh. The board also includes the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Ernest Addison, Government Statistician Samuel Kobina-Enum, and the Director General of the National Development Planning Commission, Grace Bediako. The National Development Planning Commission was established under Articles 86 and 87 of the 1992 Constitution as part of the executive.
You're watching News 360 right here on TV3. There'll be more after this break. And in this segment tonight, reggae music has been added to the United Nations protected cultural heritage following submission of the genre by the Jamaican government for consideration. This announcement has been embraced by many reggae lovers around the world.
Of all the various music genres, reggae music is one genre rooted in rebellion and activism. Though Jamaica is noted as a birth home for reggae, the genre is loved by many throughout the world. The genre has produced great musicians like Bob Marley, Lucky Dube, Eric Donaldson, Peter Tosh, Burning Spear and Jimmy Cliff. The pivotal role reggae music has played in the international discourse on issues of injustice, resistance, love and humanity is a main factor United Nations considered. The aim of including items on the Intangible Cultural Heritage List, like its counterparts the World Heritage List, is to improve the protection afforded to the listed cultural activities and boost awareness of their significance. With it. With the United Nations announcement of adding reggae to protected cultural heritage, reggae fans all over the world have jumped onto the great news. Some reggae fans share the excitement and why they love reggae songs.
So I think it's very important that it's being protected, because their lives are at stake. Let's not forget that Bob Marley got shot somewhere in the 70s or 80s, just because of the music. He was talking about a whole lot of things that people didn't want to hear. I like reggae because the lyrics are conscious, as a whole lot of people say, and then yes, it makes sense.
Reggae music preach more than churches that make a whole lot of noise around. We love reggae music and we want the government to protect it because it brings out good consciousness.
Back in the days, we just sing music, only reggae. We have nothing to do. So when you hear the reggae music, it's advice and give you some encouragement, like a message from God, but it's a nature.
Protect reggae because we came to realize that people were killing most of our reggae artists, our prophet, like for saying Bob Marley, Lucky Dube, Peter Tosh. People were killing them and nobody would do anything. So we give a very good welcome to this protection of our UN.
One of my favorite reggae tunes.
You do like
Redemption song.
Redemption song. Reggae is liberation song.
Bob Marley, Lucky Dube.
It is still redemption
Trust me.
song. Yeah, and that reminds me of Rocky Dawuni, our own Rocky Dawuni. He also sings a lot of good reggae.
Right, so that's our wrap up on the bulletin tonight. Remember, there's more news on SuriNews.com. Again, news at 10 with Grace Hamwa Asari. My name is Nanikia Mensah Brampa.
And mine is Issa Morning. Thanks for watching. Keep watching TV3.